Man, now you Inoue wasted absolutely no time in getting in against Ricardo Rodriguez, successfully defending that WBO Super Flyweight Championship that he got, and knocking him out in the third round. Really, really impressive victory from Inoue. Started off fast, started off very sharp, nice stiff jabs, good hard shots to the body, hard left hooks to the body. Maintaining his distance very nicely. Rodriguez, came out in the second round trying to give a bit of a scrappy fight to Inoue. Landed a couple of body shots, was throwing a couple of flurries, punches and bunches. But Inoue just too good, man. Just too good all the way around. Timing was excellent. Speed and power was excellent. The movement was excellent. Towards the end of the second round, he turned southpaw and landed just a beautiful one too, and he was actually doing pretty well as a southpaw. I'm wondering if maybe he was watching Terrence Crawford yesterday against Felix Diaz and felt a little bit inspired to turn southpaw a little bit. I've seen him do it before in fights as well as in sparring, but he looked hella sharp even as a southpaw. He turned back orthodox, of course, and in the third round landed just an absolute peach of a left hook. Probably I think it was like in the first minute. Dropped Rodriguez with that single left hook shot. Dropped him kind of like on his ass / back. Rodriguez was able to get up. He was stunned by the shot, but he was definitely ready to continue. Inoue just basically set up the same punch, the exact same punch, another left hook. Boom, knocked him down. And this time Rodriguez took the full count from the referee. He definitely looked dazed and confused. He was out of it. And Inoue comes through with just a brilliant and brutal third round knockout. Really excellent performance from Inoue. Just a great, great showing from him. Basically here against Ricardo Rodriguez, he was looking to, clear away the potential WBO mandatory position, so that he could basically have his choice of opponent for his next fight, which is likely going to be his United States debut this fall. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. Inoue is another guy, like somewhat similar to Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez in that he's a pound for pounder. He's absolutely a pound for pounder. As far as I'm concerned, if you don't have him in your pound for pound top 10, matter of fact, if you don't have him in your pound for pound top 5, I can't take your pound for pound list seriously, straight up and down. But at the very least, top 10. At the very least, you know what I mean? That's the very least that he deserves. Just the fact that he came up, won a world title in his 6th fight, became a 2-weight champion in, what was that? I think it was his 9th fight that he knocked out, actually his 8th fight that he knocked out Omar Narvaez in. And he's the truth, man. He's just doing it. He's doing the damn thing. Was dominant as a 108 pounder, including against Ryoichi Taguchi, who's still currently a WBA light flyweight champion, and has been dominant as a 115 pounder as well. Even against David Carmona, who of course recently gave Carlos Quadros a very difficult fight. Inoue is just crushing guys. Brutally knocked out Koi Kono, former champion, back in New Year's because Luis Concepcion ducked a matchup against Inoue. Calyafai, actually Calyafai wasn't offered one. German Akaz, ducked an opportunity at that, and Inoue is just an absolute problem, man. I'm hoping that he doesn't move up to 118 right away because, in a way, like with Roman Gonzalez, I feel like people, especially in the States and across the world, that weren't really paying a lot of attention to the lower weight classes, didn't really truly get a proper feel for how great Gonzalez has been. Seeing him on the come up from 105 to 108 to 112 to 115. It's like all of a sudden he was already a pound for pounder, at 112 and everything, when people finally got their first looks at him, and I do blame, the ignorance somewhat in that fashion, but at the same time, some things can't be helped in a way, and so you kind of got to work with what you're given as a fighter and as a promotional entity supporting a given fighter. So the way I see it, I'd like to see Inoue stick around at 115. 115 is still a packed division. You got Yafai out there talking big things, talking about he wants to be in some unifications. Hey, get him in the ring. Call his bluff. See if maybe you can up the money for German Akaz or something. Get him in the ring and get that belt. Or maybe even get a shot at the winner of Gonzalez and Cuadras. Even if Gonzalez would have to drop the belt or something, I mean, I still think that that looms as a true super fight, especially if I'm sorry, the rematch of Gonzalez versus Shiseket Sarungvasai. I accidentally said Quadras, but I still think that looms as a potential super fight. I think Gonzalez beats Shiseket in a rematch. I thought he won the first fight, but I think he'll win it more clearly in the second fight with proper officiating, especially. But I don't want to see Inoue move up yet. I mean, they were in the pre-fight promo. I could see that they were already kind of previewing a potential super fight between Inoue and Shinsuke Yamanaka up at 118. Yamanaka is the WBC champ. Yamanaka definitely still has to get through Luis Neri, though. Luis the Panther Neri is a bad boy, and I mean, he's an absolute just savage at bantamweight. So, I mean, if Yamanaka is able to get through that. Him versus Inoue is definitely a monster fight. Monster fight. Not only in Japan, but in boxing. That's a fantastic fight. I mean, two of the best fighters, like pound for pound, two of the best fighters in the weight range, facing off against each other. I mean, there's not very much more you could ask for than something like that. But I still want to see Inoue do some things at 115. I still think that he should have a couple of fights left in him. The way I see it is, I mean, I'd love to see the Gonzalez fight the winner of Estrada versus Quadras. I mean, even if say Gonzalez was to defeat Shiseket Sarungvasai in the rematch, and his mandatory would be the Quadras versus Estrada winner. Whoever wins between the Quadras and Estrada, I wouldn't even be mad if Gonzalez vacated the belt and went after Inoue and just went for the big money. And then the winner could fight the winner of Estrada versus Quadras. I mean, especially if Yafai gets in the mix like that. Maybe if Yafai were to fight the winner of Estrada versus Quadras. I mean, like, to me, that's a fantastic way to completely consummate the greatness that is super flyweight right now. I mean, they're in we're in almost like a golden era of this particular weight class. Really, really great fights to be had there, and I hope that they get made. I mean, if he does choose to move up in his next fight or maybe the fight after that, I can't necessarily blame him. He's a guy that chases glory, as I've said before. I mean, he was a world champ in his 6th fight, two-way world champ in his 8th fight, and he's an absolute problem, man. And he's looking to make a name for himself, make a legendary name for himself. Become a true all-time great. 13-0 with 11 knockouts, and he's already proven a whole hell of a lot. Only 24 as well. He's definitely got some years ahead of him in order to continue to show and prove, and I think that he's going to continue to do so. I mean, very, very hard for me to really favor very many fighters over him. I mean, especially just the way that he's been looking. He's improving with time. He's definitely improving with time. He's definitely grown into the 115-pound class very nicely, and just the power, the speed, the timing that he showed here against Rodriguez. I mean, he's definitely sharpened up. He's sharpened up in a major way. I mean, Rodriguez, you could pretty much say is about equal level to David Carmona, maybe slightly below. He did lose 2 close decisions to Carmona, but I mean, for Inoue to just completely obliterate him like that was very, very impressive stuff. So now Inoue, potential future pound for pound number 1, man. That future may not be very far off at all. He's doing some serious damage. There's a reason why they call him the monster. They might need to re-nickname him Godzilla. I think that maybe that might be his crossover name to the U.S. They might start calling him Godzilla because he is doing just reign and terror upon basically everybody that he gets in the ring with. Very impressive stuff from Inoue. And that's all for this one. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.